Well, hello, my name is Lynette Rawlings, and I am here today to give you a brief overview of Police and Community, which is the course that I'll be instructing for you this semester. Police and Community, as we know today, is quite important for the simple reason that, as you know from watching the news or even being on social media, there have been several cases that are very current that has a lot to do with the topic and the subject matter we're going to cover during the next 15 weeks of this class. So when we think of police and community, I just wanted to give you a small introduction. And one of the first things that I wanted to mention to you is there are some key thoughts and certainly provoking questions that I'll pose to you as a class. Let's take and look at the first three that I can think of that are really recent in the news media and how that impacts police relations within the community. There was Trayvon Martin in Florida. If you recall this particular case, it was an individual that was doing security in a gated community that had shot and killed the unarmed teenager Trayvon Martin. And in this particular case, the public outcry was huge because in the public's eye, the police didn't respond to this case as appropriately as they should have. The other one would be Ferguson, Missouri, and certainly Officer Darren Wilson that we've all heard about, and the killing of the unarmed teenager Michael Brown. And this one was recent within the last 6 months. There's quite a lot of protests, as you saw on the news or heard through social media. There was rioting and a lot of other illegal activity. So the question that I'll pose to the class is, does two wrongs make a right? In this particular case, the teenager was unarmed. The public's perception was what? That there was abuse of authority by the police. And so therefore the community, or a segment of the community, banded together and landed up rioting, burning buildings and whatnot. So think about Trayvon Martin, an unarmed teenager, being shot by a civilian or citizen watch patrol and how that impacted community relations with the police, especially between the Hispanics and the African Americans, which was the two ethnicities involved. Think about Ferguson, Missouri, Darren Wilson, the officer of Ferguson, Missouri Police Department, and of course the public outcry there. And then the last one, as everyone has seen recently, including t-shirts where it says, "I can't breathe," and people holding up their hands, that had to do with Eric Garner in the New York Police Department and the use of a chokehold. All of these cases wrap into community policing and partnerships and problem-solving approaches of how the police work with the community to resolve these issues. So in essence, our next 15 weeks will be sort of covering these topics and many more. We'll speak of racism. We will also look at administration and how administration works with not only the rank and file, the police officers, but is certainly how the rank and file ingratiates themselves with the community through businesses and organizations and other items. A little bit about myself is I have 25 years of previous law enforcement experience with the Ohio State Highway Patrol. I am happy to be here today to speak with you and certainly introduce you to the course. I have friends that still are active as well as retired in all areas of first response. So it kind of keeps me up to date and certainly aware of situations that are brought about in the community, not only in the past, not only in the present, but certainly what they project even to see to be problems in the future. So again, I look forward to working with you this semester, and feel free to contact me with any questions that you may have.